service local cloud. Software as a service, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service. Then I'll compare them to its data center. Now, when we are saying cloud, cloud is not heaven, like somebody once asked me. Cloud is somewhere outside your country or outside your location and environment. Somebody has a server, sound storage, connectivity or internet, whatever you call it. They have those infrastructure to make your business run. Right? They either have 100% of what you need to keep your business running, or 70% or 80%. And that is where SAS, IaaS, PaaS comes in. I will talk about that one later. Now, they have their infrastructure server somewhere. They now come to you to say, you don't need to buy server. You don't need to buy this. You don't need to buy that. We have them. You can subscribe to us. Instead of you mounting server in the server room like we used to have in those days, they still have it too in companies today. Instead of you doing all that, just subscribe to us. Give us the headache of helping you to manage. The headache of managing it that you will do. You now need to employ experts to manage server, manage this, manage that. We are taking that one off you. Right? And you are not seeing where those servers are located. You just believe. Like, we have not seen Jesus before. We believe that Jesus came. He died. And we are worshiping him in faith. So you just have faith that they have servers somewhere and you are subscribing to it. And because you cannot see it and you are subscribing to those things, we say you are in the cloud. That is cloud for you. That's one. Then I also talk about local cloud. Local cloud is also the same thing as the normal cloud. But it becomes a local one if the server, the infrastructure of that company that you are subscribing to is in your country. Because you now know that is within your environment, it is even possible that you know where it is located, like we have in Nigeria. So it's a cloud infrastructure that you can subscribe to. But because you know where it is, it can now be saying local cloud because it exists in your locality. Meanwhile, generally, most times people don't know where their infrastructures are or where they are subscribing to. They will just tell you, they can tell you Europe, they can tell you America, Asia, and the rest of that. But the fact is that what is local to you? Somebody in Ghana subscribing to that infrastructure here will not be saying he's subscribing to local cloud. He will be saying he's subscribing to a cloud. Somebody outside the country, they will be telling you we are subscribing to a cloud service. That is that. Now, between cloud and data center, for the benefit of those of us who are not so familiar with it, data center is the place where you keep all those physical infrastructure. You know, I said cloud is not heaven. The same physical infrastructure that you have in your organization, some people have it. They now say, okay, you don't need to buy server, you don't need to buy storage, you don't need to do some of those things. Subscribe to us, we already have it. But in data center practice, you have all those things there. You will now need a man that will be managing the server. If you install software on it, you need the software engineer. If it's an application, if it's a database, you now need a DBA, you now need different expertise. You now need a network person. You now need different expertise to manage those things. You need a data center manager. You need to put so many things in place. That is data center practice. How do you now decide which of them to use? Two things. One, cost. You can cost the two. If I subscribe to this cloud, how much will it cost me? If I subscribe to data center, how much will it cost me? In doing that, data center, you put together the salaries of all the staff that you will use annually, everything you'll be buying. If I'm using cloud, I may not need this staff, I may not need this staff, I may not need this staff. Then you look at the cost together, you compare. Another thing is legislation. A country can say, okay, your data must be within your country. They can even give you a range to say certain kilometer or certain distance. Your data must not be far from the country within certain reach or certain distance. They do it in some countries. But then, if the cost of cloud is so much higher than that of data center, it is good to go for data center. If that of data center is higher, it's good to go for cloud. I'll give you one example. I know of a company. They are on cloud. But then a director said that they are spending much on cloud. That in his own company, he uses local data center, and he's not spending as much as you are spending. In fact, in that company, on cloud, they spend as much as $70,000 on a monthly basis. So, we got an information one day that director said we should compare the cost of data center usage and the cloud. So, he gave us that mandate to deliver. Immediately, we wanted to start somebody with a special interest, the head of technical team, called us into a meeting, called us into his office. He was trying to influence us. He told us that data center will not work. I was the only one who could summon the courage to tell him that no, we will not do it that way. It is at the end of the assignment that we will now determine what will work. He insisted. Me too, I insisted. He now said we should go and bring jotter to come and jot what he will be telling us. Now, he now changed it to like he is trying to guide us. This is a person that has no knowledge of that job. He was a project manager. This is a person, when he comes into the company newly, in fact, he has a mail he sent to me. He was asking me the meaning of BIA, the purpose of BIA, business impact analysis. This was a person who told us that IT security is about laptop repair. This was a person who told us that we were not doing what we are supposed to be doing, that will give us a job function, job description document. Throughout my stay there, he never gave me one. In fact, somebody was brought in to spend like 4-5 months on my desk when I was away. He couldn't give the person JD. It was when I came back, my JD, he collected, modified, and gave to that person. He knew nothing about the job. He said he wants to guide us because of self-interest. At the end of the day, I said no, we insisted. We carry on with the job. We were to visit like 3 people or 3 companies. After we had visited 2, we didn't, because he was expected to sit in the office and wait for our report. He wanted to be following us because of lack of experience and joblessness. He wanted to be monitoring what we were doing. After we had visited 2 places, we didn't inform him. He ran to the management and told them lies. And they believed him. You know. He told them that we were not doing the work the way we should be doing it, that we were giving information without NDA, non-disclosure agreement. He also told them that we wrote to the MD, and the MD called him in one of the companies that he was angry. What a lie. Just because he had special interest. Before then, the cloud service in that company, they were contemplating taking it from a third-party vendor through which they were paying. During the agreement, they told the third-party vendor, he said that, he told them, the third-party vendor told them in that company that he will be giving them 5% discount. But he was not removing the discount. They discovered later. So out of that anger, they decided to take the job from him. And besides, the company was owing a lot. Those people too were threatening to, stop them. They were threatening to yank them off because they were owing as much as over $100 million. So they were contemplating bringing in another vendor. This same man was the one championing that vendor. So he knew that if we should go to data center, I don't know what agreement he has with them. For a reason known to him, he would not want the data center to work. He sold the management and they believe him. To the extent that they even formed a parallel group. They were writing to the company. They were exchanging NDA with them because they believe him. This is a person they knew themselves that he didn't know anything about the job. In fact, when they employed him, 4 months to that, they had a meeting. Everybody in that meeting, according to what we heard, they said they agreed that he didn't know anything about this job. It was a recruitment error. They kept him because the general manager of that company had to tell them one after the other. You were there when we employed him. So why didn't you didn't say no then? Why now? Meanwhile, majority of the people there were not there when he was employing him. One even said that after they employed him, they brought her. She asked 3 questions from this man. This man could not answer. So he kept the man. And the man is now giving people problem from saving the company cost. So at the end of the day, when we came out with our report, we discovered that there was 2 reports. The one he did for them. I did the contract report because very objective report. They insisted that the company should continue with the local cloud, with the cloud that will be costing them $70,000 a month. Whereas use of data center will be best for the company. We will be spending 20 million naira at start. 20 million naira a year. Subsequent year, because we will not be buying server. At first we buy server, we buy stand storage. Subsequent year we will not be spending as much as 20 million naira. And somebody is insisting that they should be paying $70,000. That's several millions a month, billions a year versus 20 million naira a year. Just because he wanted to bring a third-party vendor in. The third-party vendor is the person through which we will be paying through. He insisted that the company should be paying that. He took the good further that apart from the cloud, the company again should retain as backup a local cloud. Apart from the cloud that the company use outside the country, another company in Nigeria that has cloud service too, they should also employ them. So they will be paying that one too as backup. Meanwhile, when you have cloud, you don't need a backup. They owe you 24/7 service. When you subscribe to cloud, they won't tell you. They replicate your data to some other continents. A cloud service provider, if it's in America, he will be replicating automatically all their customer data to 2 other or 3 other continents. So you don't need a backup. They owe you availability 24/7. They don't have excuse not to make your data available anytime. Meanwhile, the local cloud service will also cost as much as over 200 million per annum because of self-interest. So all those things are reasons why people determine where to go, either data center or cloud service. But the fact is that the cost, the expertise will determine. In fact, if they employ staff, if they go that company, they are gone for data center, what they will now need to do it was to acquire the service of maybe a SAN storage manager, which we recommended, and one or two other persons. They will not spend as much as 25 million naira per annum, right? Instead of going for cloud. So what they now did in the report, they put some certain things there which are trying to nullify. One of it, they say that if they try to go for data center and we try to patronize some companies, those companies are by the riverside, water, seaside, that they are prone to fraud. Whereas it's a lie. There is no basis, there is no empirical data. And the people they told believe. And I tried to nullify. I said, this is not correct. I gave them 3 reasons. I said, 1, in those days, yes, when you are going through Babish, when it's raining, you see flood. But a government came and put certain things in check. With that, it addressed that. That's 1. 2, we visited some of these companies. They told us what they did, what they put in place, such that no matter how rain fell, no matter what happens, it will never affect them. 3, there is no evidence to say that, okay, within the last 5-10 years, this company data were affected by flood using this company. This company and this company pull out because of flood. You can't see it on Google. You can't see it anywhere. So what is the basis for saying that? They put that in there to have their way. Another thing they said is that they say server used to have end of life. Yes, they will write it there. When you are using data center, when you buy server, they will have end of life. End of life can be 5 years. But doesn't, now let me explain end of life. End of life means after 5 years, they won't be supporting you. If there is issue on the server, if there is 1 or 2 challenges, they may not support you, which is not correct. Having worked in about 4, 5, 6 banks, having as an IT person myself before going into audit, support, end of life support does not end in that year that they will tell you. If they tell you 5 years, they will still be supporting you till another 10 years, till 10 years, or another 5 years plus another 5 years, making 10 years. That's 1. 2, that 5-10 years, those servers, they may not even give you problem. You may not even need their support. We have banks today that are using servers that are as old as 20-25 years, in some even as old as the bank themselves. Another thing is that those servers, right, when they say end of year support, these people, apart from the fact that they will still be supporting you, those servers, by the time it is 5-10 years, you have mastered whatever challenge that they'll be giving you, that you will not even need their support again. And I gave them examples of banks that work and things like that. But because of some people's interest, they insisted. So those are the things we see in this work. Those are the things we see. Some people can just decide to waste the company money, and unfortunately, in that group, people were, and somebody at least was trying to support them or defend them on the issue of flood. A person that I believe should also be an IT audit person by virtue of certification. You know, I was shocked. The people in that place were management staff. Even from the presentation, when they were presenting, they were struggling because the person presenting was actually doing like they developed that thing for him. But then I was surprised. The people at the management seat on that day, they tilted towards that direction. No? But the question I was asking myself is, can these people, if it was their business, would they take this decision? Would they behave this way? 20 million naira a year to $70,000 a month. We are talking of $70,000 times 12. We are talking of billions. Somebody is saying we should continue to spend billions. He's also recommending additional 240 times 12 as backup. We'll be using, he said they should adopt cloud that they are presently using, that's gulping over $70 million. He's also saying that they should also look for backup, which was not necessary in the first place, of local cloud of 240,000 naira. 240,000 naira. Sorry, 240 million. 240 million backup local cloud. They will be spending 240 million on what? On local cloud as backup. Instead of data center that they will be spending 20 million naira a year. If it's my father's business, will I go for that? Will I not say, this guy that is saying this? No. Let's even try it. If it's not working, we revert. Let's even say it's not right. At once we spend 20, 30, 40 million naira per annum. Is this something? Let's try it. Let's give it a try. Because it's my business. Because it's my business. But when you see money that you think is free, if I'm money, people can do whatever they like. So that's that.